Hi, welcome to tonight's show, and what a show it is going to be. Um, if you if you like Sublime, this is the show for you because we are talking Sublime tonight. And I got to be honest with you, you know, there are I really, I've talked in the past when we've talked about stuff like Misfits reuniting and like things that were that we revel in for like I can't believe this actually happened, that sort of thing. Um, this was on the list of things that could, I guess, never really truly happen because one of the members is gone forever, and the heart and soul of the band um, is gone forever. And yet somehow, some way, I don't know how it works. I don't know how it works or how yeah, I don't know how it works, but somehow a band where the heart and soul hasn't been there since 1996 somehow came back to life last night in California. And that band is Sublime. And, I got to tell you, I've had weird, this is something that has, I feel like, been a long time coming in one way or another. Like this is something that all the, Sublime fans, they all talk about this like, oh, someday, somehow, Jacob, he's going to do it. He's going to, be in his dad's band and do his thing. And to me, I'll be honest, I always kind of thought it was, it seemed like the logical thing, but for me, it was not like something that I was intrinsically interested in. I mean, truly. I remember when, we talked about this recently. It's funny, we just did a live stream where I just did a live stream where I was just like appalled at the fact that they were going out as Sublime with Rome without Eric on bass, which just boggles the mind. But I recounted how exciting it was when they first decided to perform a show under the name Sublime. Even though it wasn't Sublime, it was still, exciting that something in that arena was like coming back, I debated on flying out to that show, and it didn't end up doing it. It was in Reno, and it was 2009, February 2009, and Bud posted on MySpace, don't want to miss this show if you're local, get down to, I forget where it was. I was living in Chicago at the time. I did not end up going. And last night, a similar occurrence happened, except I think it's way more significant. And I ultimately didn't end up flying for that one either. But man, I got a serious case of FOMO after the fact, because Jakob Nowell joined Eric Wilson and Bud Gaugh to play Sublime music. And, is Sublime truly gone? I mean, in the sense of the fact that like Bradley Knowles, the heart and soul of that band, of course, yes, Sublime is gone in that sense. But, and I got to be honest with you, I don't think I was really, interested. I was more interested in what Jacob was doing as a solo artist. I really liked what he was doing with Law and what he's been doing with Jacob's Castle. I like that he was doing his own thing. And I always kind of thought kind of rolled my eyes a little bit at the notion of like, like why would he do that? Because he has the same voice. Like, it just is weird. I don't know. It didn't necessarily make sense. But then I watched the footage yesterday. Well, I mean, I was excited. Of course, why wouldn't I be excited? Then I watched the footage yesterday. No, not yesterday. This morning, I watched the footage. And I had a complete and total change of heart about so many things that I thought, and realized how incredibly valid this all feels for a lot of reasons that I'm about to get into. And it's one of the most valid like things in the year 2023 that, I didn't intend to be so valid. And yet here it is. And I want to talk about that. And to join me in talking about that is somebody who was at the show last night. The internet's a funny place. Like we live in an age where, it used to be that if you wanted to meet like people that were into the stuff that you were into, you had to go to a show, you had to go to the mall, you had to go whichever way to like kind of meet people and like, you know, you find out you have similar interests. I've made lifelong friends, you know, outside of at the end of shows, you know, waiting backstage, whatever, waiting for the band to come out backstage or whatever, that sort of thing. But the internet has created this sort of weird situation where you can find somebody in your niche, in your niche fandom that you love, that loves to talk about that thing that you love to talk about. And you can connect and case in point, this dude who this guy who I met in a Sublime, I guess in a Sublime Facebook group or something, and we just were talking about Sublime. And it was great because, you know, I don't have too many people to talk about Sublime with in my life. I am a rabid fan of Sublime. It's a fandom that I don't ever talk about much on this channel. We've started to do a little bit, and I want to expand more and do more. But it's been so nice to chat with someone who knows, you know, the band, like, you know, as much as I know about the band, like, you know, just someone who has that shared interest. And so it's just kind of funny how like you can meet people through the internet over shared interests in that way. And this is a guy who is a big fan of Sublime, all things Sublime and whatnot. And he was at the show last night, and I was like, man, you should come over to the show. I want to hear what your thoughts were about the show and share mine as well from what I saw of the video that he shot. This guy shot some video, he put it up. I mean, this guy's a hero because so many of us who couldn't be there for the show wanted to just see what it is. So a big shout out to Reed Clow, who is waiting in the digital green room. He's going to join us now, and we're going to talk about the Sublime show that occurred last night. That's such a weird thing to say, but it feels valid. I didn't think it would feel valid. It feels right to say that. It feels okay to say that. Without further ado, let's welcome Reed to the show to talk about the show. Hey man, how you doing?
What's up, Jeff? How are you?
Hello.
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay, cool. We're not lagging.
We're not lagging. We're not wagging. We're not bagging, tagging. Lagging,
great,
sagging.
dude. You know, it's funny you say that about feeling valid because you know, I'm not going to get too deep into my feelings about Sublime with Rome or any of that right now. It's not what we're here to talk about. But for the last 15 years, 14 plus years, we've watched that name be thrown around quite frequently and heavily. And it was, you know, to a lot of us hardcore fans, it was never valid. And, you know, I think Jakob is claiming what's rightfully his at an age where he's 28, his dad passed away at 28, and he's officially older in months and days at 28 than Brad was when Brad passed away as of a couple months ago. So the timing is right. And I was telling someone earlier, shout out Tazy Phillips from the Ska Parade. He called me earlier and he was asking how the show was. And if you remember 10 years ago in early 2013, early to mid 2013, when it first got announced that Jakob had a band.
Yeah.
And how excited people were.
I was excited. I remember that very well.
Nobody cared how talented he was at the time. He was young, bro. He was 18, picking up a guitar, learning how to sing for the first time. And people were just excited that it was happening. And it was like, people wanted to see Brad's son up there with a guitar and bandmates and learning the ropes. And here we are 10 years later. And it's like, take that excitement that we all had 10 years ago when we were all so excited that Jake was going to be playing music finally. And here we are 10 years later. It's come full circle. He's doing it with his dad's friends. And it's just like, it's so magical, dude. He'll never be his dad. He knows he'll never be his dad. We know he'll never be his dad. The world knows that, and that's fine. But it's like, it's okay.
You know, you bring up a lot of interesting. I just want to put a pin in that for 1 second because you bring up a really interesting point going back 10 years now. I remember that. I remember there was the first show, Law, live at DiPiazza's. Somebody put it on YouTube, and I like listened to it immediately because I had heard that recording of him at his dad's grave doing burritos, and I was like, "Holy shit!" not only does he know how to play guitar, but he's got his dad's timbre. I was like, this is so cool. But even back then, I was thinking about him like, I'm not like, I just want this kid to be playing music. I hope that he plays music. But what I don't know. I guess I almost felt cringe. This is going to sound weird. I almost felt cringe from a distance in the idea of like people like me. I don't know what his life was like, but like I could just imagine the pressure of being like trying to discover yourself as a musician and like what you're like and what you're into, and the pressure of being like, before you could even remember, like, oh, your dad was in this legendary band and now you're into music, so you gotta fill your dad's shoes. And like all that stuff, like all the stuff that he must have had to work through over the years as a person, and be like, all these people want to talk about my dad to me, and I'm like, I didn't even know my dad because he passed away when I was so young. So it's kind of like, I mean, he knows his dad through his mom and everybody that knew his dad. But like just this idea of like of like kind of having, I mean, if anybody has ever had a birthright, it's him. He's had a birthright, and then like why this feels right now and why it works and why it clicks. You're right. It's the fact that he's like that age, but also because it feels like he wants to embrace it. Like he's choosing to embrace something that was always there if he wanted it. He went out, he explored his own musical side. I feel accomplished a lot, not only just getting signed. And it's interesting too, how he's got his own project. He got signed to Epitaph. And only now, it's like, okay, I've done my thing, or I'm doing my thing. I'm established myself. Now I can explore more of that stuff that's always been my family's legacy. It seems like from what I've seen in the live shows, like that he does, or like that, on the tour videos that people post on YouTube, it seems like, he understands that it makes people happy. And it's like, hey, I'm going to play these songs. They're my dad's songs. They're a piece of me because they're a piece of my dad. I'm going to play these songs for people because I know people are stoked on it. I'll throw one into the set. This, that, the other. I don't mind doing this, but I want to do my own thing. I have my own influences. I have my own thing, even though we know as early as 2013, without even fucking trying, all these other fucking cookie cutter bands try so hard to fucking ape that shit. And he just does it. He's like, because he's his father's son, that he just does it so fucking effortlessly.
Right. And we've watched Jake, like I was there that day in 2012 when he did the Burritos cover. I was at the cemetery. My buddy Eddie recorded that. He was sitting right next to me. And, he was he was like a little baby chick coming out of an egg, bro. It was like, he was 17. He wasn't even 18 at the time. I think he was maybe even 16 turning 17 at that time. This was May in 2012, which means he would have been 17 the next month. Yeah, so Jake was 16 in that video. He had a buzz cut. Everyone can picture it. You could look it up, Jakob Nowell Burritos 2012. You could find it on YouTube. And that was just such a special moment for those of us who were there. And if I recall correctly, my memory, it's been a long time. It's been 11 years. I want to say he might have also performed Garden Grove that day. Or maybe
I have the video. Just say, pull that shit up, Jamie.
Yeah, pull that shit up. I want to say he maybe performed half of Garden Grove and then stopped because he felt like he wasn't given justice or something. But anyway, he was so young. He was just a baby. He was 16 years old. And it's like, this is something, like you said, people have been talking about this on the internet since the internet was the internet, bro. Like, ever since Bradley passed away in 1996, fans have been speculating since this man was an infant that one day in the deep future, he will grow up and get on a stage with Bud and Eric and perform these timeless classics.
But here's the thing, though. Like, I don't know. Hold on, let me see if I can make the. No, let's do it like this. But here's the funny thing about that. Like I guess from like what when you just said just now, it almost feels like like a Reddit like fan fiction, like, oh, and then he's
Yep.
gonna join his dad's friends and they're gonna play Sublime. And it just seemed kind of goofy or like unnecessary. It's just kind of like, dude, like the band ended in 96. Like that's it. Like you really, but the reality is that after watching the footage today that you shot, I'm like, I've totally changed my mind. And I'm like, this is cathartic, man. Like it just here, let's play this first. This is when Jake surfaced all the way back in 2012 on the anniversary of his father's passing.
16 turning 17 a month later, and that guitar he's playing was actually one of his dad's acoustics. Yeah.
Right. Okay, I'm gonna play this. I just want to pause it right there because I just want to quickly notate that, first of all, like the casual, like there's such like a casual, laid back attitude that encompasses what, and what is my qualification? My qualification is the same as Reed's in the sense that I've listened to every conceivable live bootleg of Sublime. So that's what I'm going off of when I say this stuff. I never saw Sublime live. I didn't know any of those guys. I've listened to everything that has surfaced in one way or another, legally or illegally. I've listened to all of it as much as I could listen to, that is. And there is hours and hours and hours and hours out there. And the reason why I bring that up is that just watching this performance, you see that he intuitively has that, for lack of a better word, I'm going to sound really stupid saying this, styly. Not something we stay on the East Coast at all. He has he has the styly of his father, man. And just the fact that he does that little skank, whatever he says, like skankety skank, like that is something that his dad would have done live. That is not something forced. That is something that is just natural.
And you can tell watching this video too. I mean, like I said, this is a brand new, fresh kid learning how to play his guitar as a teenager and learning how to play and sing at the same time. I mean, he's pretty much whisper singing in this video. I know he was nervous. It was the first time he'd ever performed his dad's songs, let alone any songs, in front of a public crowd. I mean, he'd never come out in public and played anything before this day at the cemetery. And it was 2012 would have been, I'm so bad at math sometimes, the 16th anniversary of his father's passing.
Yeah.
And so, it was like, it was trippy. And it's like, he was 16. It was the 16th anniversary of his father passing away.
So so wait a minute. So he was playing, so he had learned, I mean, he knew Burritos and Garden Grove and stuff. So he had just been listening. Obviously, Troy was probably playing Brad's music so that he could hear
his whole life, for sure. Yeah. I mean, he grew up on it. And for those watching, I know Jake pretty well. I used to manage his band, Law, and he's told me
managed. Wait a minute, you managed Law?
Yeah, I was like
holy
their first
shit.
Back in the day. I mean, I was 2016. I was like their first manager.
Oh my God!
I booked some of their first tours. We did a couple Slightly Stupid after parties. 2016.
Dude, the footage from House of Blues in 2014. I want to say, what was that show? Law. I'm trying to find it. Law 2014.
Was it the one with? There used to be a band called Badfish, not the tribute band. The original Badfish is what they went by because they were Badfish before the tribute band was Badfish, and Badfish, the tribute band, blew up and I think it was a show with a band called. They changed their name to Khalifa.
I
Nowadays,
used to go to see. So the first time I saw Badfish was like 2004. Super early. Like they didn't even have that was when Dave Layden, there was a guy named Dave Layden who was on guitar. It was just the three of them. And it was super cool because it was like, wow, that is legit the closest you are ever going to get to see Sublime. And I'll tell you, for years, Badfish has sort of filled I guess a need, a void for a whole decade or more before Sublime with Rome further filled that void for people who wanted to hear Sublime music, right?
totally.
They were out there playing all those songs live.
Especially after, I mean, there was a period where I was talking to my homie Eddie Villa about this the other day. There was a period where MySpace was dying and people stopped using internet forums for a while around this time as well, 07, 08. Long Beach Short Bus had broken up, so Eric and Ras One were no longer on the road together.
I saw them live, I want to say in 2006. I think.
Was just a little too young, man. I was like 16 when they broke up. So, there was a kind of a blackout period, if you will, in the Sublime community where people stopped using internet forums. People stopped using MySpace. Facebook was kind of coming into the limelight.
Yeah.
And 2011 is really when Facebook groups kind of became a thing.
That replaced the Skunk Archive. Was it called Skunk Archive? What was it called?
Well, there was the Sublime Archive, which was a place where people would go to download all the illegal bootlegs and all that stuff they wanted.
I had everything: Psychosemantic Police, Pure Anus, I made a mix called Lord Have This Grilled Cheese. That was just a mixture of Pure Anus and Psychosemantic Police, and that's really where my expansion, my knowledge of Sublime expanded. And then when the box set came out, I was like, this is cool, but we've had some of this stuff for a very long time. There was new stuff too, but really all it was just scraps,
Right.
Just scraps. Here, okay, I have the foot. Sorry, continue with what you were saying.
Well,
yeah.
Okay.
No,
I was just getting to the point that like 2011 is when my friends and I decided, well, I guess Facebook groups are a thing now, and we should make a Sublime group, and we should try to get a bunch of people who knew Bradley in these groups because they're all on Facebook anyway. And Facebook really was the first place where if you wanted to find someone who was in the Falling Idols or in Brad's first band, one of his first bands, Sloppy Seconds, or if you wanted to track down Kelly Vargas, one of Sublime's drummers, like you could find these people. And even MySpace wasn't as user-friendly and accessible in that way, where some people had a MySpace and they didn't really put their real name on it. People had MySpace usernames and stuff. And, you might be like, Jeff drives a Cadillac or whatever, just something random. And like, you wouldn't be Jeff Frumess on MySpace all the time.
Right.
So like, and a lot of these older heads, they didn't have MySpace or they didn't care to.
Heads. I like that.
Yeah, I'm not trying to call people old heads, but people.
No. Is that like a West Coast thing? I've never heard that term before. That's funny.
Old head is kind of a thing people say. Kids these days call me an old head. I'm 32. I'll get 19. All right,
I'm 38, so there's about 6 years between us. So we're not too far off from.
We're both millennials,
Yeah.
We're the same era, but I'm talking about people who are 20, 30 years older than you or me.
Yeah. Gen X. They're Gen X.
Right. The Gen Xers. They weren't all on MySpace, but a lot of them hopped on Facebook. And so this was a place where you could find these people. And it was kind of magical because my friends and I were like, whoa, we're really connecting the Sublime community in a new way and a new place that it hasn't happened in this fashion before. And then it kind of opened up the floodgates for like information and question and answer and just the dig never ends with this band, dude.
There used to be like an expert. There was a guy, there were a couple guys. There's a guy named Matt, and then I know everybody knows this guy's name, but no one likes him, the G-Man or whatever. There was G-Man and Matt.
I'm not going to
Matt,
Birdie back anyone, but yeah, you are.
yeah. And there's also Matt put together
Rewind Selector.
Yeah, Rewind Selector, right. He did a few different versions of Rewind Selector that like suddenly, because here's the other cool thing about Sublime, and then we'll get back to Jake here in a second. Here's the cool thing about Sublime, and it's the same reason why I love the Misfits, why I love so many different things, is that they're, Sublime is a band that wears all of their influences on their sleeve, and they have a lot of really cool influences. So they end up being a gateway to so much music that I never was aware of. And then this guy Matt painstakingly found he would fade whatever Sublime was referencing, because Sublime was essentially, I've said this in every episode we've done on Sublime, but it's worth noting here. Essentially Sublime was this weird situation where you have these guys that are basically cultural DJs. They're taking a little lick from this, they're taking a lyric from this, and they're blending it into a song with their own style and this, that, and the other. And this guy, he basically, I'm sure you could find Rewind Selector somewhere on the internet, but he basically he basically would fade Sublime's version into the original. And that exploded my mind, because it was holy shit. That's where it just I saw all the samples and everything, just blew my mind.
Dude, to bring it back around to Jakob, one of my favorite things that he and his original bandmates, Dakota, his original bassist, and Nick,
right? Nick's been on this channel. I had Nick on the show a long time ago.
Love Nick. That's one of my homies.
Awesome,
I love
dude.
that dude for life. I've known him since he was 15, and I've watched him growing up. He's 25 now. And it's he's a grown man,
He's doing good. He's playing with Frankie and the Witchfinger. He's doing cool stuff.
He is.
Big ups to Nick.
Big ups to Nick. Shout out Nick Aguilar, wherever you are. Probably in Long Beach or San Pedro somewhere. What was I going to say? So the three of them, Jake, Nick, and Dakota, they used to cover "Buggin' Out" by Tribe Called Quest.
Yes, I think they did that on that show that I love, which is, by the way, at the Observatory, not House of Blues.
Okay, that's what I was
2014.
That was the Skunk 25th anniversary Skunk Records party. And it was that was an amazing show. And Buggin' Out was played at that show.
I must have listened to that show 100 times in 2014. That was I would just listen to that video over and over again, because I was just blown away. Again, this is where, so here's the funny thing. When he started playing music, I was yeah, he sounds like his dad, but that's over. Is that Sublime is over. Right. I just want to hear this kid make music, new music. Yep. And he was doing it. He had a song called Flower and Bleach My Brain. And just he just had he had a really cool, he was literally doing what his dad was doing, but he was doing it with his own. They covered Gorillaz, Feel Good Inc., and that was fucking awesome. He was really doing his own original thing. And I was kind of yeah, dude, this was my mindset at the time. You're your own guy. Don't give in to all the people that want you to be Sublime. Fuck them. Do you, man. And but now he's come full circle. He's achieved things that he wanted to do with his original music. And now it's he can embrace that, and he seems to want to, and he is. And I think it's fucking, I've changed my heart. I'm this is awesome. This is great.
If you pull up YouTube, I don't know if you've ever heard this. It kind of lurks in the shadows, but I uploaded it because I had it on my phone in a voice memo, and it was so good. Jake has this unfinished song that's maybe a minute and a half, and he never wrote the back half of the song. Just never finished it. And all
right, I'm gonna pull it up, but sorry, go ahead. Continue.
Every time I've seen him the last few years, I'm hey, bro. And I've even you can see the back and forth in the comments between he and I, me asking him to finish it in the comments. And if you look up Jakob Nowell One Thing, it's audio only, but it showcases his songwriting ability and his storytelling in a way that's so eerily reminiscent. You can tell that it's the Nowell bloodline. And
Right, the Nowell bloodline. Right,
I
that's the way
typed out the lyrics in the description of the video, and you can even read along if you want to play it, because it's eerie how good it is, and it's almost like in the way that Boss DJ and Mary are very special acoustic numbers on an otherwise cracked out, trippy dub rap rock punk album. It's like that, dude. It's like you should pull it up. And just
wait. I have it pulled up right now. I just want to finish playing this for anybody who is just learning about this or it's their first time. I just want to finish playing this last minute of him doing burritos because I paused it because I wanted to notate that thing. I really feel like we're on a great track to really sort of highlight what Jakob has done and then dovetail it right into what you saw last night. So let me finish playing this and then we'll play that next thing. And I got 2 other things queued up.
Cool.
Wow.
And in the background, you can see Jim and Janie, his grandparents. Yeah. And that's his little brother, Rudy, right there.
Wow. I mean, it's great. It's great. Okay, I'm going to stop sharing that for a second, and I'm going to put on, let me see what I got here. Oh, no, we don't want that. We have, here we go. Jakob, this is Jakob Nowell, One Thing acoustic. And we have the full explanation is that it's an unfinished song. That's a voice. What is it? A voice memo, you said?
Yeah, it was a voice memo from an iPhone, and I recorded it, and I don't even know the name of the song, but once you hear it, you'll understand why I named it One Thing, because
rock, right?
Shit.
Well, then we also want to play the Dance a Good Guy Goes to Church in the Day.
Hold on.
He takes
Hold on, let me start this again.
Well, then we also want to play the Dance a Good Guy Goes to Church in the Day. He takes the time he sets aside to pray. His sister Jess works a day job, works real hard. He spends all her hard-earned money at the liquor store. Jess got a boyfriend at the dead-end job, but he just don't want to end up like his dad and his mom. His mom's name is Susie. She regrets what she did. She spent her 30s drinking, trying to clear the rats to her kids. Her youngest name is Alex, and he hits high school. He thinks books and education are totally uncool. His teacher's name is Mary for English 102. She hates what she does, but she don't know what to do. The coworker is staring, yeah, he's madly in love. Does push-ups in the break room just to work courage up. His best friends are Paul and Cindy, the Oreo tied. Cindy wants to be with Paul, but it wouldn't feel right. Paul's real creative, yeah, he works with his hands. He's gotta get high sometimes to meet his demands. Demands come from Kevin, Paul's asshole boss. Kevin would be cooler, but he's consumed by lust. Lost his butt last year in a car accident. He was driving home from there with Dan. And most folks only have one thing in common: a natural reaction and a way to solve a problem. Most call it selfish, but it's your basic right. Do it tonight and take your own life. Hey, and there is a second verse, but
dude, that is unfucking believable.
I know, and I've begged him to finish it. I've begged him to record it. I'm like, dude, listen, I'm like, you don't understand how great the songwriting is in that song. Like, he takes each person and associates them with the next. It's just a trip, bro.
You want to know something? You want to know something? You know what that reminds me of? It sounds like something that would be on the Sublime acoustic thing.
I know, bro.
It just sounds, it's so, and he sounds exactly like his dad. It sounded literally like that could have been an outtake that his dad had written. 100%.
For real. And it's, yeah.
You know, what's interesting that the thing that Brad was kind of writing about, like Mary, like Freeway Time in County Jail, Seed, Same in the End, all of these songs, he's like kind of writing about the gutter, like Wrong Way. You know what I mean? On some level, like,
Sure.
or just, you know, like people. And like, it's kind of what it is. It's kind of like it's almost kind of like a Bukowski thing, like a Charles Bukowski sort of thing. I mean, just sort of like gutter poetry, that sort of thing. And that is so, like, it's so prevalent. Like, this really does sound like, what's up, Crazy White Boy? How are you tonight?
Crazy White Boy, what up, dude?
Crazy White Boy in Baltimore. Crazy White Boy, you're in Baltimore, Maryland, right? I think so. I think that's where he is. This is one of our regulars here.
I've actually seen the name.
Oh, okay. There you go.
Yeah.
But yeah, this is, first of all, I want to thank you for preserving this and going to I'll definitely be listening to this again. But preserving the lyrics, and because for him, he plays like, it's like a it's out of sight, out of mind. Right. But to you, it's like this, it's this incredible thing. It's an incredible thing to me. It's beautiful.
Right. And it was recorded in like a random homie's living room in Long Beach on an iPhone voice memo.
Even better.
You know?
It sounds great. And I'll be honest with you, like the idea of like him re-recording it, fine, cool, like maybe, but like in all honesty, what this is, as it is, like that, it's so perfectly Sublime-ish or Bradley, whatever, what'd you say? The Nowell
bloodline.
Yeah, you know? It's so like apropos of like the Nowell sensibility of like how Brad would kind of do things, that it really is, it's perfect the way it is.
Totally. I was just hoping for that second verse because I'm selfish and it's such a great song.
Oh, me too. Me too. So from there, this is years after what I'm about to share. So here's the first show where I remember pictures were posted on, somebody shared it on Facebook, and it was like, oh, now he has a band. He's back in, he's living in Long Beach, and he was living, where's his family is from up north, right?
So the Knowles are from Long Beach, and then Troy raised Jacob down in San Diego.
San Diego is north though, right?
South. It's by almost by the border.
Oh.
Yeah, the southern border.
Okay,
yeah.
So in any case, he migrated back to his father's family roots and started doing law, and that's where he met Nick, and Dakota was his friend. And this is the first show of this is from Live Rock Music Concerts, but I guess you were probably at the show, right?
You know what? I was at the second one, which was a month later. I was stuck finishing my degree up in Santa Cruz that in May, I believe, of 2013.
Dude, Santa Cruz is beautiful.
Love it,
beautiful. Bro. Love Santa Cruz.
Oh yeah.
I'm not going to play this whole thing, obviously, but I'm just going to play a little bit. And they covered at the very end at his first show, his first official show as like a musician, I guess. They covered Waiting for My Ruka. And he changed the lyrics. Oh, no, he didn't change the lyrics, but there was an emphasis on "You're the best, Bradley," which, of course, and it's kind of like, at the time I was like, okay, that's cool, like fun. That's like a fun little like Easter egg thing. But there was also like kind of like a sense to me of like, just, I don't know, man. It's like this weird, like out of body, like desire for like seeing that this dude was a super original dude. Like, you don't have to be that Sublime guy. Just do your thing. Do your thing. You don't have to do that if you don't want to. But, seeing that he's so naturally good at it.
Right. And this was the early days, man, where like, again, even in some of the first shows, which you guys are about to see, like it's raw. He's still learning how to play his guitar and sing at this point on the timeline. You know what I mean?
All right. I'm going to play a little bit of this, not the whole thing.
Turn
You know, it's crazy. I don't know, Jake. I don't know any of these guys, but I have literally been watching through the internet, through YouTube. I've been watching this whole fucking time, just casually, you know. Oh, I wonder where they're those law. What are they up to? Oh, they released a new record. Cool, you know. And it's just so cool to see like how 10 years has passed and like how things have changed. It's really amazing, man.
It's crazy.
It's crazy. I'm gonna keep playing.
Yeah, yeah.
So, you know, what's interesting there? Like, he sounds like his dad a little bit, but like he's literally like, it's so crazy. It's like that's his original songwriting. This is Flower, right?
I think so. Yeah.
I think that's Flower.
Getting dirty in the dirtiest kind of way. Yeah, I think so.
Yeah. It's like he's doing this really original thing, but it's like still effortlessly sublime without it being sublime, which to me, there's like an authenticity. Like there's just, I don't know. It was just, I just really enjoyed watching him do this stuff, you know, like just seeing this develop, and his singing style, which was reminiscent, wasn't quite, it was like he was doing his own thing. And you could hear that here right now. I'm going to play this again. What's this song? This is a great fucking song. What is this song called?
Oh, dude, I'd have to look back, man. It's been a minute since I've listened to any of the early Law and stuff like that, but it might be on Mild Autism, their first record.
I think it's most certainly on Mild Autism.
I wanted to drop a little known fact about Nick and how this came to be him being Jake's drummer. So Nick's dad is a longshoreman, shout out Rudy, from San Pedro. And Nick's dad grew up jamming with D Boone and Mike Watt.
Right.
And the Minutemen. And at one point,
he sat in with them, right?
Well, Nick sat in with Mike Watt at D Piazza's when he was like 12 or 13. He was like a little kid at the time. And Miguel happened to be there at Mike Watt's show nearby. He's a local boy. Miguel just happened to be there. And Miguel ended up contacting Watt and saying, hey, you know, Jacob's coming of age right now, and I saw that drummer boy, 12, 13 years old, drumming for you, and it would be great if we could, like, introduce these boys and have them kind of ready to jam together when Jake turns 18. And so there was already, for a couple years, I want to say by the time Nick was like 15, 16, he was already in touch with Jake, had plans to, you know, work with Jake and become his drummer. And it was Mike Watt and Miguel who really made that connection happen for Jake. And it was special because Nick's so talented. He's out here in 5 different bands, touring, opening, you know, sitting in with Mike Watt across America, opening in his band Slaughterhouse for Bad Religion on 50 dates across America. He's in Frankie and the Witch Fingers. He's already accomplished so much at a young age, in his early to mid 20s at this point in time, as we're talking now. And it's crazy how it all started, you know, with the Minutemen, really, and Sublime, and and his father kind of all crossing and melding together, and Miguel and Watt and all of that connections happening, and him working with Jakob. And it's special to me. Nick's so talented. And I always told him when he was 16, I said, dude, you're going to be a famous punk drummer. Trust me. And he was such a humble kid. He's like, no way. You're tripping, bro. And I was like,
check out. We had him on he was on an early episode of Pizza Punk. Check that out. It's somewhere on the channel. It's just in general, everybody, you as well, but everybody wants to check that out. This is a show. So this is from 2014. This is from February 2014. There's Miguel introducing Jake for the skunk thing, right? The skunk 25th anniversary.
Yep.
Situation. And I've heard, in early, I don't know where it was either interview or something, he refers to Miguel as like a wizard or something, like a wise wizard.
He used to do that frequently, actually. We used to joke that Miguel was a magical wizard who had, special powers linking to the past and all of that. It's true. I mean, it's not a joke.
Yeah. Was Miguel instrumental in any way, shape, or form in sort of facilitating the nurturing of Jake transitioning into music at all? Or that's what it seemed like to me from a distance. I don't know.
Very early on, absolutely. I would say as you went into like more of the second phase of Law, without Dakota, when you had a couple of other members joining.
There was Logan, there was Aiden.
Correct. When Logan and Aiden came into the picture, I would say that there was a little bit more of a distance from Miguel. And that was because you had a bunch of younger guys who kind of wanted to find their own way in the world, and they didn't want to, like any young person will do, they're going to stray from the path of what the elders
branching out,
and they want to go learn on their own. And that's totally fine. But that's definitely something that was occurring, I would say, in the early 20s era of Jake's life.
The early 20s era. Okay, so this right here is like one of my favorite Law shows to watch, or what I used to watch. I haven't seen it in a very long time.
Law. Yeah.
Oh, bugging out.
And you can already hear they sound tighter. They're tighter now a little bit. This is like, it hasn't been quite a year maybe, but like they're just slowly starting to solidify as a band, right? Like musically together. Yeah.
Let's do this.
We already heard that song.
Right.
Oh, this is a great song. Now, what's interesting right there, like you heard how he kind of, the thing that Brad did so well was, he'd do this like scatty scat thing, and then he would he'd deepen and dirty his voice,
Yep.
It was like this dirty sweetness that he would just sort of reach in the bottom of his throat, and his son had the ability to, and he like would pull it out in these certain moments. And
a great example of that is on the Hong Kong Phooey recording when he's all
rough.
He kind of it's like a gruff bark almost.
Yeah, right before the beginning of Jailhouse too, on that same thing. And this is just, it's like he's starting to his singing is starting to evolve a little bit more, and he's starting to get more confidence, I would say, as a singer.
Yep.
It's more effort, less shy. How about that? We saw him in 2012, and then, you know, in that first show, and now he's like starting to get a little less shy here.
Yep.
You know?
Yeah.
So I mean, like even like, you know, even like Still Raw, you know, barely a year into this thing, you know, he is so confidently, he has fully encompassed the idea, like that notion of a front man that is one part lead singer, one part guitarist. I'm gonna, you know, I'm gonna take my hands off my guitar, do some stuff with my hands, like just all the shit that his dad would do. So it's like still, he's kind of following parallel to his father's footsteps, but in a completely different way.
Absolutely.
You know?
Absolutely. And I wanted to give a shout out real quick to Eddie Villa, who I've mentioned before. He just texted me.
Cool.
There's a specific era, whenever you can get to it, of the Jakob timeline that we're kind of reviewing right now. There was a 4th of July party at Big Jim, Papa Noel's house, Brad's father, Jacob's grandpa. This was the summer. This was the year I was working with Law. We had just come back. There was a Slightly Stupid after party we did in Avila Beach, California, which is the central coast between SF and LA. And Slightly Stupid played on the golf course. And then we had an after party at this spot called Mr. Rick's, which was, you know, one of 2 possible venues we could have even booked at in Avila Beach. I remember at that show, they got upset with Law for playing too loud. And I was like, they're a rock band. Like, what do you want us to do? You know? So anyway, we ended up back in Long Beach that night after driving through the night, spent the night at Big Jim's house, and we threw a pretty massive 4th of July party.
What do I search for on that? Where do I search?
There's 2 things that Eddie told me to have you look up. One is Eben from that show. Eben, Law Eben 7/4/2016. Law Eben 2016 should bring up the 4th of July party. And then also Jake whipped out solo at that show, which is on my channel, a cover of Smooth E, which is a Bay Area West Coast rapper artist. Smooth E, Dick Like Mine. He did a cover of Dick Like Mine with literally just him and his acoustic guitar. And you've got all the people there on the 4th of July. And it just so happens that like in front of Jim's house or behind Jim's house out on the beach in the backyard, in what would be the backyard, which is just the beach. That's where all the high schoolers come and party on that beach right there. And all the locals come through, and it's kind of a big thing down there on the peninsula, where the peninsula 4th of July in Long Beach is a thing. And Pero Bravo, Miguel, shout out Miguel, played that day, as did a band called Bodegas. And Bodegas, I think it's Bodegas. Rest in peace, Chris Swanson. The lead singer of Bodegas passed away this year. He was a good friend to all of us.
Sorry to hear that. Rest in peace.
His band played that after party I was discussing, as well as the 4th of July party that day. And yeah, if you want to check into Eben from that show, as well as Dick Like Mine from that show.
Yeah, I have them both pulled up right now.
Very special day, and you can really see the advancement and evolution, if you will, from what we've been checking out in the 12, 13, 14 eras, kind of, you know, into the 15, 16 era of Law and Jakob.
Cool. And then we'll go to, I want to hear about the show last night, and we'll go into that footage. Okay. All right. Ready? I'm pressing play.
He's my mechanic. He wasn't invited to the party. Just kidding. Give a shout out to Miguel. The man, the myth, the legend.
Right. So this is the second era of Law. Nick is still there. But this is Aiden, and that's Logan. And now Jake is trying to do the leads. He's like, I'm going to be the lead singer. I'm not going to play guitar. I'm going to drop the guitar. Do you remember at that time, like, what was the mentality behind that? Like, I'm just gonna...
Well, Aiden's a great guitarist, and he's a shredder, and he shreds. And so it's like, I think there was maybe a brief period where they were both on a guitar, and then Jakob kind of realized, you know what, this guy's so good that, like, I don't even necessarily need to, like, even be a rhythm guitarist. Like, we don't need me. We have the sound. Why don't I just do my theatrics with my hands and the microphone and my little, whatever, his dances and his gestures and everything that he loves to do. And I think it was just kind of like that. Aiden's so good. He didn't really need to play guitar.
Makes sense. Totally makes sense. All right, I'm going to press play on this real quick. Let's listen.
Chris Swanson there on the left, the big guy.
My window cool and bright, so slowly into night. Funny how things look the same. Now that my friend Evan's changed. Evan was moving, but I used to know. Now, feel feeling like the he was moving like tennis shoes. Dealing, he was looking for something to use. When the people had come to get a bottle of food.
So interesting. So first of all, I mean, wow. I mean, that this guy Aiden just shreds like a mother. I mean,
Right.
the
You
band
see
is
why he
so
didn't
much
really need
tighter.
to be on a guitar at that point,
No, not at all. But here's what's interesting. Here's an interesting note. That this might sound, it's not a criticism, but it's just like an observation of, it almost seems like there's a bit of awkwardness in the sense of like, Jake used to hold a guitar. Now he doesn't hold a guitar. So it's like, what do I do with my hands? How do I stand? How do I position myself? That seems a little out of sync without the guitar. And it's interesting.
Well, that was also the earlier days of him not having a guitar. I mean,
right.
He probably put the guitar down at the end of 2015, I would wager.
Gotcha.
And so it's like, this is halfway through 2016. How many shows did he play in those?
Right. No, but it's like, that's what I mean. Like, it's like a whole, it like changes everything. It's like, now what do I do with my hands? How do I got he's got the voice. He's got the confidence. He's super comfortable now. He's got this killer shredder, but it's like, what do I do with my stage presence? And that seems like, I don't know what exactly. I'm going to pretend to be a genie conjuring the magic of this guitar for a second. Like, I don't know what to do. It's like,
he loves that, It's like you let Jake have you let Jake keep his hands idle, and he will start summoning the magic genie. You know what I mean?
Right. No. So it's like, but it's interesting to see how like slowly, like how it just keeps getting more and more cohesive.
Totally.
You know what I mean? It's very, very interesting. Because you know what's funny? Like after this was 2016. So when he did that live tour, though, where he was just by himself with his computer, which I thought was so fucking bad as fuck. Like it was just so, it was super punk rock. It was super, I was like, dude, you have arrived because
Right.
you got this, you've got this pre-programmed computer, and you're just like, he's anchored again by the guitar. He's got the guitar,
Right.
and he's doing this cover of Hey which is just so extraordinary. It's so utterly extraordinary. And again, by having the guitar, I feel like the guitar is his like center of gravity. That's my own 2 cents on it.
That's a great way to look at it because, yeah, the hand gestures, definitely the theatrics, as some of us like to call them.
Right. Trying to figure out what to do with yourself when you don't have your hands occupied. Like even when you're doing the frontman thing, it's like when you have the guitar hanging down on you, it almost kind of anchors you there, you know, a little
and
bit.
It's not like they're
singing.
It's not like they're Pennywise or something where it's like you're playing fast and you don't really have time to do
right.
Yeah.
So it's kind of, it's just, but point being with all that is that it's very interesting to see how each step of the way goes from being really shy, then he gets the confidence that he's doing the guitar thing, that he's not doing the guitar. It's like how he's finding himself to this point. Now let's play that second. I'm gonna jump over to the second video for the sake of time here. This looks very interesting though. So
it's a trip. This video is a trip because it really showcases what was happening that day and his solo talents as well.
Okay, I think we gotta. So it's only 2 minutes. Let's watch the whole thing. Hold on. I'm gonna. Yeah, that's the max res. Okay.
I could tell by your smile you ain't had good dick in a while, and I could tell by the look in your eyes what a kid got between those thighs. A dick like mine, a dick like mine. Once every time. Oh baby, oh I've been waiting on the car lately, and I don't even know you at all, baby. I could take you for a ride, lady. Something that will drive you wild, a dick like mine, a dick like mine. It's every time. A dick like mine, a dick like mine, a dick like mine. It's hard to find, hard to find, hard to find. Oh, somebody.
I just want to pause it real quick. Listen, for anybody who guys, you've seen what the videos are, like search out these videos on their channels and actually watch them, like watch them. We're commentating as we go. So there will be pauses. So interesting observation. So same day. And there's, I see such a huge difference when he has the guitar. Like it just, there's a difference to his swagger, to his stage presence. It's more focused. I don't know what it is. There's something about seeing him without the guitar and like his movement and like what he was doing. It's almost like the guitar anchors him in a way. And I think it just makes I don't know. He's more cohesive with the guitar.
With the bottle of Tanqueray, so I brought the girl back to my home. And all night I sang this song. A box of wine, Looks every time. A dick like mine, a dick like mine, a dick like mine. It's hard to find, hard to find, hard to find with a dick like mine. Woo! Stick around, people. We got bodegas coming at you. Maybe a little bit more after that.
Very cool. Very cool.
So yeah.
No, I mean, it's amazing to see the progression. So now tell me, okay, so let's talk, before we talk about the show, I just want to take a quick moment take a sponsorship break. Oh my God, we're already an hour in. See, these shows, these shows stream themselves. They're so effortlessly easy to do. Once you just start talking, you can't stop.
Right.
Sponsor of this channel, hold on. Sponsor of our channel is riotstickers.com. If you need stickers for stickering places, you need to go to riotstickers.com. We are running a special deal here at the Frumess channel. You can get 1,000 stickers for $69 now. It used to be $79. Now it's $69. That's 6 cents a sticker. Think about the insanity of that. I mean, you get 3-inch by 3-inch stickers from riotstickers.com. This is actually 2.5 by 3. But the point being is that you are not going to find a better deal for stickers. They have a UV coating on them, which protects them from the sun. Man, you ever seen the color red stay so vibrant after being 2 years stuck on a pole in bright sunlight? It's what Riot Stickers does. And they're printed on vinyl, which makes them waterproof. 1,000 of these suckers for $69. You'll notice as well, we have another deal going with riotstickers.com. You can get 200 die cut stickers. Reed, are you familiar with what a die cut sticker is?
Yes, it's the one that's usually like laser cut or cut by a very exact blade.
Right. It's like in a shape. It's like in a customizable shape.
Right.
So die cut stickers, you get 200 die cut stickers for $79. So $69 for 1,000, $79 for 200 die cut stickers. Links are down in the description. I'll also say, make sure subscribe to Reed's YouTube channel, subscribe to Eddie's YouTube channel. If you like Sublime adjacent content, they have stuff of all varieties on there, so you should check out their channels. Let's play the Riot Stickers video, and then we'll be back with Reed as we talk about the show that seems to be the culmination of all this other talk as it relates to Jakob and Sublime and this, like, I guess what is essentially a birthright, whether one wants it to be or not. It's a birthright. It's a fucking birthright.
We make stickers, banners, and buttons too, posters and promo cards. There's nothing we can't print for you. From stage backdrops to bass drum heads, we can print on shirts, we can print on hats, we can print on pants. Cheap prices and high quality, quick turnaround times and free shipping. We also offer free artwork support, great customer service, and so much more. Riotstickers.com, Riot Stickers, we are the bomb. Riotstickers.com, Riot Stickers, we are the bomb. Riotstickers.com, Riot Stickers, we are the bomb. Riotstickers.com, Riot Stickers, we are the bomb.
And that's a promise. Okay, so we were talking. Okay, so all of this to basically get to this. So while Jakob is on this journey, Eric and Bud initially, they do a band, Sublime with Rome, with this guy Rome, who, you know, he does his Rome thing. Like I've said this before, I've gone on record saying this. I really don't mind what Rome does at all. I just don't like that it's done under the Sublime name in any way, shape, or form. Like whatever he's doing, whatever, it's fine. Like if he did the thing that he does called Sublime with Rome, if he did it just as like Rome, I would buy a ticket to that and go see it.
Right.
But I just have no interest in, even with Eric there, like I would rather see Long Beach Short Bus, which I have, than see that. It just doesn't, you know, and maybe like if Bud was there, it would be a little bit more enticing, but like Bud is not there. And Bud has expressed in the past on record as to why he's not there and his feelings about the whole thing. So this has all been going on this entire time. And then at some point, you know, Jakob has jammed. He jammed with Bud once. They did Caress Me Down. and then more recently, Jacob played with Eric, right? Didn't that happen fairly recently?
Yeah, back in May of this year, Spray Allen, and then Jacob opened for Spray Allen, and Eric invited Jacob up to come do Garden Grove, which was very special. Fletcher was in the audience, Fletcher from Pennywise, and he was singing along up front. Yeah, that was great.
Yes. I saw, yes, I think I've seen that. I think it's somewhere on YouTube.
It is,
which was really cool. All of which sort of leads to like seemingly out of nowhere, there's this HR benefit that's being put on by a member of one of my other very favorite bands who I've seen countless times. Like, you know, for every band like Sublime that like was only around for a few years and has gained this incredible cult following, and you know, that none of us really got to see for a variety of reasons. And even if we could see them, we might not have seen them on the good day or a bad day. Who knows with Sublime, depending on the situation. You have a band like Fishbone, who has been a constant. They have been there since '79. Fishbone is still stuck in your throat. Fishbone is red hot. Fishbone is doing its thing. The core of Angelo and Norwood, and you know, Chris comes in and out, and Walt, Dirty Walt, and Fish, Norwood's brother, came back and then left again. Just like a variety of revolving door of the OG lineup, and then, you know, the OG lineup re-solidifying. This band has always been here. It's a band that has just been, they've been out there fucking doing it. Those dudes, Norwood and another guy, I don't know, what's the other guy's name again? The whatever. No. The guy who put on this benefit. There's another guy.
Kentyah. He's a promoter named Kentyah. I met him last night, or I met him yesterday during the day, actually. Really nice dude. Bad Brains fan. Wanted to help out HR.
Right.
Great
so
dude.
HR, and I don't know if it's public knowledge or if you could explain or what the deal. What is up? What's up? I know that HR has suffered from migraines. Is this a migraine thing? Is this something new?
I'll have to see if I can find the link for you, and I'll send it to you after the show. I don't. Maybe you pin it in the comments.
Yeah, sure.
There's a GoFundMe, so it's public. It's public knowledge. They had a.
I put it down in the description.
Great. I had never seen this before yesterday, but they took the projector, and during like lulls during the show, before, during, and after, they had a giant QR code projected onto the back of the stage, which, if you went to it, led you to the GoFundMe for the HR situation. And I couldn't fully explain to you what's going on, but if you guys want to research this, HR is experiencing what they call cluster headaches.
Okay. This is the thing. Yeah.
And it's apparently 100 times more painful than a migraine. And if any of you guys have had a migraine before, you already know how painful that is. And his syndrome, or I don't know what you would call it, his problem right now is SUNCT, SUNCT, which is an acronym for whatever the actual long form of the name of the problem is. So if you guys want to look up SUNCT, it is a cluster headache disease, and it's what HR is currently going through right now. And apparently there's no cure for it, and they don't know how to solve these cluster headache problems. And they said last night he's already had some procedures done to try to relieve it. And, you know, it only relieved it for a couple weeks. And he's like, you know, really not in a good state with these headaches. So hopefully, you know, blessings to HR. Hopefully he gets better. It's kind of scary and sad. And, you know, we wish the best for HR, and glad that Eric and Bud and Jacob and Norwood, Angelo, all the Fishbone people, and Israel Josephi could all get together. Dave Lombardo. Fred Armisen was hilarious.
Mad Lion.
Right. You know, was Mad Lion there? I don't know if he
that's what it said on the bill, so I don't know.
Flyer. Yeah, you know, I realized right now that I don't know if Mad Lion performed last night. But anyway, it was amazing either way, and you know, 800 people packed into a 600 cap club, packed to the walls. Wow. They made money for HR's cause last night. You know, the guy really needs some help, and it was a special thing that came together for sure. That's okay. So it was he's had the cluster headache thing has been a thing for some time. Yep. Yeah. I'm glad that it was a success, and part of that success, or part of the celebration, not the celebration, the tribute, whatever you want to call it, the fundraiser, Sure.
Was the reunion build as Sublime, where but right was it? I mean, it said, I saw on the thing it said Sublime, or maybe it said it off to the
So
side.
it wasn't promoted that way,
Yeah,
but backstage on the run of show on like
yeah, it
the
said
sound
Sublime.
check loading, it said Sublime.
Yeah,
And Jakob announced at the show that they were Sublime, which you
right.
committed,
That's why I'm. Yeah. He right.
you know.
Right.
And so it's like people knew that it was coming when it was being promoted, that, you know, with the three of them and Trey Pangborn as well. Trey Pangborn of the Falling Idol, Dub All Stars, Short Bus, and then Bargain Music with the late Josh Fischel. He was in all those bands, and he's very well qualified to be the lead guitarist of Sublime. And he was there. He knew Brad. He was in the room back in the day. You know, he was getting handed copies of their earliest pre-demo tapes, just, you know, dubs that they would be like, hey, check out what we're making type tapes. He's been down since the 80s, so he's very well qualified to be there.
And he was in when I saw Eric with the Short Bus, he was the guitarist.
Right, exactly. Yeah. He's been there the whole time, all the way through up till today. And DJ Product was live on stage doing the scratches and the sampling, which you know, DJ Product created Sublime's very first logo, which can be seen on the Jaw Won't Pay the Bills tape. That's Sublime,
really?
the scratchy font. Yep, that was DJ Product. And he also did some scratching on Robin the Hood. I'm sure Jeff knows that, but maybe you don't.
Nope, did not know
DJ
that.
Product was in the crack house with Brad. Not, you know, I don't know how cracked out he was, but he was definitely, he's a buddy of mine, and he was definitely involved in some of the scratching and a little bit of the production of Robin the Hood.
Oh my God.
Anytime, if you look on the Sublime Wiki website, if you search Head PE, any of the times that Sublime played with Head PE, which wasn't too many times, maybe 2, 3, 5 shows, Doug, DJ Product, definitely had a hand in that. And he was also the DJ at the show.
Wait, is he OG Dougie Nutty?
No, that's someone separate, and I've also been told not to speak that guy's name, so I'm not going to.
Okay.
Dougie Nutty.
That is from one of those bootlegs, though.
Yeah. They were joking. In that bootleg, when they say that he was going to, you know, bring in the guns blazing or whatever, like, they weren't joking about that guy. You know what I mean? Like, so let's just say, like, what you heard on that bootleg is real. But anyway, Dougie Boyce, DJ Product from Head PE, he was the DJ at the Foothill in September of '95 when Brad and Miguel brought Slightly Stupid on stage and signed Slightly Stupid to Skunk Records. Product was at that show. He was the DJ at that show. So, and he went to Wilson High School with Brad. He was at the same high school with Brad. So another person that's well qualified to be on stage, do the sampling, do the scratches. He made their first logo. He was in the room.
Yeah.
And same with Trey. So it's like they have a really nice filled out band with Jakob there, with playing his dad's axe, by the way, which is so amazing. Yeah. Playing the
triple rectified.
Yeah. Yeah. Playing the Dan McDonald guitar. Rest in peace, Dan McDonald. Never again will we see another handmade Dan McDonald brand new guitar. And, you know, that brown guitar looks brand new. It's crazy how the condition they've kept it in, you know, the last 28 years.
Who was Brad's dad in possession of that guitar, or did Miguel have it? Or
yes, Brad's dad and family at Jim's house had that guitar for quite some time. I remember there was a fan named Jeff Keast who visited Jim's house back in 2012, I believe, maybe 2000. No, this was 2012. And he went over there to have some dinner with them, and like they pulled the guitar out and they let Jeff take some photos of it and share it in the group with us on Facebook. And it was so cool for all of us fans at the time back when to see up close, high def photos of this guitar that we only kind of have old scratchy photos and video of from the 90s. And, you know, they've whipped it out a couple of times for Jake to play at Beach Life Festival here in Redondo Beach, where I live. Miguel and Opie, maybe the Dub All Stars. I'm not even sure. I think it was the Dub All Stars. They did a set and they brought Jake out for like a song or two, and they brought out Brad's axe for that. This was, I think, a year or two ago. That was really special. And so there's been a few special moments where that axe has been brought out of the darkness to see the light of day with Jakob once again. And last night was really, I think, the official, like the fact that he's playing his dad's axe is just so special to me, man.
Yeah, it's like some Lord of the Rings shit, dude. It's like he pulled out it's like when they took Narsil. This is gonna get really nerdy for a second.
I know nothing about this. I'll let you pop off. Just pop off. Just do it.
Yeah, they I love that you're from the West Coast, because like you just pop off. I'm gonna pop off right now. No, firstly, I'm laughing to myself because I'm going, the way you're nerding out about this fucking guitar. This is exactly what we do with the Misfits, with their gear, with the gear, or like whatever. Like people nerd. It's just so funny that it's the same thing. That's number one. Number two, in the third book of Lord of the Rings, the sword, this very precious sword that was smashed in this battle from a long time ago, they reforged the sword so that it could be used in the battle they got to fight now. And it just kind of like, I just kind of laughed to myself, because it sounds like that they brought out Narsil for him to play with, so he could, that kind of thing. So I think that's cool. I really, there's like a mythology. There's like a mythology.
Crazy. I mean, it's so special. And the guy who built the guitar is deceased. His dad, the player of the guitar, is deceased. It's almost this thing that holds, if that guitar could talk, let's put it that way.
If that guitar could talk. So what was it? What the initial, like the set itself, what are your reactions, musings, feelings after seeing that and experiencing that in the flesh?
After experiencing it, recording some clips for other people, talking to a couple friends of mine who weren't there but got to see the video that I posted, talking to fans who were there, there's a general consensus here that Jakob pulled it off. And, obviously no one on this planet before or after or ever again will be Brad. Rest in peace. I'm a huge Bradley Nowell fan. And,
I think we all are. I think we all appreciate his.
Yeah. Anyone can appreciate that. He's not going to be replaced, and Jakob knows he's not going to replace him. And with all of that said, the kid pulled it off. I think it's very special to see Bud and Eric being a rhythm section again with Jakob, and having it filled out with the sampling from Product and the guitar from Trey. It just all was brought together in a way that, like, it was amazing musically with or without Jakob, and having Jakob there was just incredible, because it's like you said, like we said, it's a birthright. He was born into this. He didn't choose this. And the fact that, back in the day, man, he used to tell me that when he was 18, 19, 20, he used to tell me that he wanted to do music for a couple of years and become a history teacher. He was like, yeah, man, I want to become a teacher. I want to go teach history. And it's like, here we are, here he is. He's at that point. Oh, cool. It looks like Eddie Villa, I think, clipped my video and put it on his channel. Great.
No. This is some guy named Todd Smith.
Okay, cool.
And I found a bunch of his videos. I really wanted 4K videos, but I couldn't, there was a couple of things up. One person mistakenly called Same in the End Seed, which I thought was really funny. But all right, since you're like, come on, you experienced this before, but like this is something you're going to watch this with me. Let's watch it. Yep. Are you ready? Let's watch it. Let's do it. All right, and we'll pause it and we'll comment on things. Right. And we probably, I don't know if we're not going to sit here and watch the whole show, but we'll just scrub through some stuff and we'll cap it off. But I really want to thank Reed for coming on the show, filling in a lot of gaps, a lot of information, a lot of stuff I didn't know. This was not what I was expecting initially. Like, we really did like a really cool oral history of Jakob's career that's led up to this point where, as I said, my mind has been changed, because I was like, I don't really like, I'm stoked this guy's doing his Jacob's Castle thing. Like, Sublime with Rome exists. It sucks, whatever. Like, it's this thing, whatever. Like, okay, there's nothing's going to ever replace Sublime. So like, who cares? But then this, as it turns out, like, this feels so right. It feels so right. It's like, it's here. So let's watch now. and see where Jake is today. He's as Reed said, he's 28. He is the age of his father when his father passed away, and he's his own man, and he's choosing to do this. And I think that makes this feel so much more right, because it's not something like it's not like forced upon him as a teenager, and he's like, pleasing everybody around him. It's like he's choosing to do this. He's like, I want to do this for this benefit and play with my dad's bandmates and fill this role. I think that's fucking cool.
Absolutely. Give the fans what they want,
Yeah, I mean, and to the extent, last thing I'll say, and I'll play this, is, it's really no different than John Bonham doing what he did in Led Zeppelin, being a drummer, stepping into his father's seat and playing some really well-received, in that case particularly, they played a few well-received shows and everybody was down with it, because who could replace John Bonham? He's considered to be this untouchable guitar, musician god, right? I mean, that's what happens too when these musicians, when they pass away under the circumstances that they do, they become canonized as more than human. They become these myths. They become these saints, these whatever, these things like that everybody worships, that everybody idolizes, and projects their fandom onto. And this case is no different. There's no difference here. And so this dude is stepping in control.
I'm guilty, bro. Yeah.
All right. I'm gonna press play on this. Let's watch.
Yeah.
Make some noise! Come on. April 28, 1992. There was a riot on the streets of Well, I was participating in some anarchy. First time we hit up was 90, so I finally got all of that alcohol I can't afford. Red lights flashing, time to retire. Then we turned our liquor store into a structured buy. Next time we hit him was my music shocking. It only took one word to make that winter pop. Finally we got a home PA. Where do you think I got this guitar that Trey's playing today? Go!
Now, question for you: How long did they how many times did they rehearse before they did this?
I heard about 3.
Okay.
And I don't know exactly how many of those Bud was there for, because he lives up in Reno, which is like 9 hours north of here or something.
Sure.
And yeah, I know that, I'm pretty sure I heard that Jacob practiced for this at a rehearsal about 3 times. So,
wow.
I mean, yeah, It's not very many considering what he's pulling off right here.
I mean, it's and there's really nothing like this rhythm section. Like they are. Well, we can't hear it yet in this one because he's playing that weird little piano that he's playing.
Right, the sampler. Yeah, it's like it's
like a Moog sampler thing, but like. Later in the set, like it's the unmistakable drum and bass combo would just go off his guitar, and it was just Brad's voice freestyling with that tight drum and bass in the back.
Something else I want to make a note of, as far as set decoration goes, it was very special that they were playing the muted versions of the actual Bradley Sublime music videos and associated footage in the background. Like the footage that's in the background here is the footage that's always been used and associated with this version of this Sublime song. And you'll see when we go into STP next, it's going to be the STP music video.
Yeah, the music video.
And having Brad there on the screen looking over, Jacob still being a part of it, it's crazy, bro. It blew my mind for sure last night.
Yeah. I mean, it really is. Here, I'm going to pull the volume back up in a second. I love the way too. It's so cool that, it's nice to see Bud behind the drum kit again. And, I love how high he pulls that stick up. Like
the tomahawk chop, dude. The tomahawk chop.
Is that what it's called? It's like
That's
this weird delay. Yeah, it's really cool, man. It's really special. And the fact is they never got to even, I mean, they just started playing Garden Grove live. And like the fact, this is something that Eric developed in when he was doing Sublime with Rome, to have this little piano thing here.
Right.
It's just so interesting to see, like, this is what it would have been. And I don't know, really cool.
Absolutely. And we've always heard the rumors and stories that like Brad's vision and plan was to develop the band beyond a 3-piece live. He wanted.
Oh, really?
I mean, that's what I've always heard about the Long Beach Dub All Stars, is like Brad had this greater vision for a bigger band and a bigger sound and a bigger situation at concerts. And it was kind of special to see 5 members up there as opposed to 3.
Right. And what's fascinating, well, I've told you this when we've spoken on the phone, in that, the biggest asset that Sublime had live was when they had Miguel on guitar, and when they had even when they had Todd doing sax. Like that filled out the sound. I mean, just having, you had Miguel doing the samples. He had a little sampler thing, and he was doing backing vocals and guitar. He was filling it all in, and so it really was. It was one of Sublime's, outside of like the you never know what you're going to get at a Sublime show, unpredictability sort of factor, the sloppy grace with which they played. That was the biggest hindrance to that band live, was that they removed that element from the show, like, because it just added so much. So the idea, the notion that would have come back, and that's what's being done here, is really great. Here's STP, and I love what Jake said. I love what he says at the beginning of this one. I think it's what he's going to say it here.
It's great.
Thank you very much. This is our good friend, Mr. Trey. And my Uncle Dougie. Oh wait, one second.
Yeah, this is it.
Okay, now it's a Sublime set because I got my fucking shirt on. I'm prosperous.
I'm prosperous.
Just can't leave the path, 'cause I'll surely want to die, 'cause I know they're out there waiting and watching for me. Till I got my yellow cat, and I'm good, it's my back, and my shiny silver cat, my home is at my back. Oh.
Yeah, do you see how much, like, he's so much more centered with the guitar? Like,
oh yeah.
Just like being like stationary, he's still emoting with his hands. It's just night and day difference to me, at least. I don't know. Like, he is in final form. He's in full form here, man. Like, this is it.
I agree. Yeah.
I mean,
this is a trip, bro.
say that again.
This is a trip.
It really is a trip. And you know who's having the best fucking time? You can't tell what Eric is, very stoic and like just like straight face, but Bud looks like he is having, like, you could just see even from back there, like, it's kind of hard to see like everybody's face, but like Bud looks like he's having the fucking time of his life. He looks so stoked, Like,
Yeah.
just, I mean, I'm sure they're all stoked, but like just, you could just see the elation on Bud's face. And he's like, this is right. This is the way it should be. And this, to me, this sounds like Sublime. This is live Sublime. Like, this is the band. Like, this is, or at least as close as you're ever going to get to the band. This is it. It's here. It's fucking here. Final form. You know what I mean? I gotta tell you, man, Bud is it's amazing. It's amazing to me how fucking incredible Bud is of a drummer. Like, Eric, I've always known that Eric is like a secret weapon bass player. Like, people don't realize, like, Eric's doing a lot of, like, if Brad is like the, he's the front man, he's doing the vocal thing. Eric is kind of doing a lot of the heavy lifting in the low end department. He is carrying so much in his bass parts, while Brad is, if Brad's just doing like the up pick ska thing, he's not soloing and he's freestyling, whatever. But like, man, like, in terms of like just power and like just tightness and cohesiveness, Bud is so integral to the sauce. You know what I mean? It really is mind-boggling to me. Like, it's becoming very prevalent as I watch this live clip right now. Truly. Let me move over to, here's greatest hits.
You guys like Sublime? Me too, man. And it's really special to get to be here for a good cause. We fucking love HR. It's going to personally influence so many people. So the fact that we can have this many people out here tonight for a very, very special occasion brings a tear to my eye. Thank you so much for being a part of the family. We love all you guys. Make some noise out there. Okay, sing along if you know the words, because I don't think I do.
You see Nick is in the corner. You see Nick right here. He's losing his mind.
Oh yeah.
That's Nick.
That is Nick.
Dude, he's having such a good time.
Wake up in the morning, it's time to live. It's getting harder to live. It'll be a long time before shit starts to give. Cause every single day it's getting harder and harder. And I'll be up to being down with the hoe. that's okay. I'll be president someday. Light my cigarette and I think I'll put Suzanne to me.
Now, I noticed there seems to be a guy here with a pro setup. He's got a steady cam. He's got a DSLR. So maybe there's something will come of this footage in some sort of professional way.
Yeah. Is it a video camera?
Looks like a DSLR.
On a gimbal?
Yeah.
Okay, that might have been a dude named Brian I met.
Okay. Interesting.
There were so many people floating around with cameras and iPhones and gimbals.
Sure.
It was, I mean, I couldn't even keep track. Someone in the comments hates Sublime. I'm sorry for you.
It's all right. We don't pay attention to those people. You just ignore the trolls. Don't feed them. Let them be haters.
Also, a few minutes ago, Eddie said, "Love it." Yep, Frumess is right. So,
yeah. You couldn't see it. I shared his comments. I could share comments on my screen. So
okay, got it. That means you saw it if you shared it. Okay.
I did. And Eddie is the guy we were mentioning before. Check out his channel. He's got a great channel full of Sublime stuff. This sounds, I mean, this literally, if I close my eyes, if you put this in a random cipher of shuffled songs and said, is this Sublime? I might not be able to tell the difference. Like, in all honesty, I don't know if I would be able to tell the difference.
Or on like a real like drunk night or something, dude. You pound a few beers, and then I don't drink anymore, but you pound a few beers, listen to this, you might think you're hearing the real thing, and it's like, and just Bud, man. Bud's drumming is spectacular and next level, and he and Eric together is a potion. That's another thing that will never be replaced, bro. Eric and Bud together, it's irreplaceable. They grew up together. They learned their instruments together. It shows.
Mm-hmm.
And they're just so friggin' talented, dude. And I mean, I would pay money to see Eric and Bud play drums and bass together with no one else, dude.
Yeah, man. That's what I was saying, like before, like just in terms of like the fact that you could hold on, I'm getting rid of this guy real quick. Say bye guy. There you go. All right, well, hopefully he will be excavated. What's up, Whiz Bang? We're talking Sublime tonight. We're talking Sublime tonight. Yeah, that's like, we could totally say that. That's really.
And there was totally a chance that we'd never see the day, man. Like, I never thought I would see this day where you and me are on YouTube, just a couple fans from separate coasts, on a Zoom call on YouTube, talking about Jakob being the singer of Sublime now. It's like, it's surreal. It doesn't feel real. It's crazy.
Yeah. And it's amazing how he's got his shirt off. He's singing just like his dad. It feels right. Look at Bud's face right there, man. I mean, it feels right, man. Dude, sorry, go ahead.
I mean, it's just trippy to look at this compared to the retrospective we just did of Jake.
Right.
We went back 10 years, kind of up until now, up until at least the mid 20-teens. And then kind of fast forwarded to now, and it's like, look at that kid with the buzz cut at the cemetery playing burritos, and then compare it to the burritos that they did last night. That's what I would love to see. Okay,
we're gonna see the burritos. We'll see it. I have it queued up here.
Yeah.
It really is. It's really amazing. Yeah, this guy is right on the stage. He looks like he's getting really good footage.
That is Brian with the gimbal. Yep, I met him.
Look at that thing. Look at that. He's got a nice little rig there. And Jake sees that camera. He's like, yeah. he's playing to the camera. That's great. It's great, man. It's really spectacular. Here, I'm gonna turn the sound back on.
Every single day is getting harder and okay, I'll be president someday. Light my cigarette and I think I'll put Suzanne can make me drink. Open boxes then pump that shit. shit. The singing's great, it's the singing's greatness, it's the singing's greatness.
I mean, what, like, I can you imagine what's going through Troy's mind when she's watching this? She must be like, it just must be unfucking real. And even I'm sure that what's his face? The grandfather,
Jim.
Jim. I'm sure that
Yeah.
for Jim, this must be such a, you know, a catharsis on some level. Again, like, that's listen, when losing anybody is never the pain doesn't go away when you lose someone you love.
Course.
But like,
there's the one quote of Jim saying, he was interviewed and he was like, the pain never goes away. And, if Brad never had a son, I would surely be in bad shape. That was the quote. He said,
oh yeah. Makes sense, man. Cause it's just like, it's like he's carrying on all the good stuff in his father for his father. I mean, it's just must be such a beautiful day for their family, for Troy and for Jim and Janie and all them. I'm happy for them all. I really am. This is surreal, a triumph.
Bro. It's surreal to sit here the next day and watch this with you. I had such a long day and night yesterday dealing with the show.
I bet.
Getting a night's sleep and having some coffee and getting some food in me, and now kind of realizing that it's real.
You're processing it. You're unpacking the show, right? Like you're really unpacking it. All right, let's play Wrong Way. This is another song that they got to, they just started to play these songs. They were going out on the road. They were preparing for their first excursion to Europe in early mid 96. Yep. They're getting their footing with the new material, just figuring out how they're going to be playing it. And Wrong Way was one of those songs, Wrong Way, Paddle Out, Same in the End, Seed.
Yep.
I know that Santeria exists, but I don't think it really circulates. There's apparently one or two versions of Santeria out there. Jailhouse actually, I think, was around in 95. They were playing Jailhouse. And Caress Me Down were around back then. Garden Grove for sure. I don't think much What I Got, but like they were just starting to really get these songs down.
It's trippy. There's footage of, so there's a clip. It's on Eddie's channel, but in 95, the Ziggins and Sublime played at the Doll Hut in Anaheim, Linda's famous Doll Hut, which is just a dive bar venue. And there's footage of the Ziggins doing Tim the Dinosaur, and Brad gets on stage and does a few, some vocals with the Ziggins. And at the very end of that tape, it gets cut off after about 10, 15 seconds, but there's an intro of Sublime playing What I Got. At the end
wait a minute. I think I've seen this.
Eddie clipped it out. It's at the very end of the Tim the Dinosaur thing, but if you look up Sublime What I Got live, there's just a 10-second clip that, the tape ran out or they stopped the tape or whatever.
Yeah.
But there's evidence that they did What I Got live at one point or another.
Well, here is Sublime. See, I think this is, I don't like this. I'm just seeing it in text right here. Sublime with Jakob Nowell. I don't know if that works. I think you could just call it Sublime. I really feel comfortable in them. It's like, this is like an anomalous situation because you think about Nirvana. And the truth is, like, I don't think you could ever replace you really couldn't. Truly could not replace Kurt Cobain. I'm not saying that you could replace Bradley Nowell ever, but I don't think there's any instance, there's no combination of any which way that you could go out and validly perform Nirvana as Nirvana with somebody in that way without it just being a tribute. They've done a couple of like rock and roll things. This feel like to call it Sublime with Jakob Nowell. No, it should just be, it's Sublime, dude. They should just call it Sublime.
Totally. And I think one reason why a lot of people are probably labeling it this way is so it'll come up in the YouTube search when people are looking for it because it's fresh, it's new. They also keep in mind they didn't promote this as Sublime. So people aren't exactly sure what to call it yet either. I mean, and I'm sure it'll be called Sublime. Jacob announced it on the stage that it'll be called Sublime.
They own the rights. Of course it's going to be called Sublime. Whether anybody wants it to be called Sublime or not. But someone who rails against this sort of stuff, I'm a real purist. I really don't think I have a problem with it at all. I really don't.
Again, it goes back to the bloodline. It goes back to the birthright. It goes back to,
No, but it's just that he literally can fill the role. Like he actually can do it. Like it's not like it'd be like, listen, the birthright is not enough. It's the fact that he literally has the voice. He literally has the front man presence. He is like a stable human being who can go out and do stuff. Like he is the perfect, he can do it. He can fucking do it, like that's
and again, looking back on the retrospective, man, I feel like a lot of people 8 to 10 years ago, seeing him just starting out, would have said otherwise. And I always knew that.
That's where my skepticidity was.
He's a young man figuring it out, and it's like, here we are 10 years later and he's proven everybody wrong. And he's doing something that people on the internet have been talking about for 27 years. And here we are.
Real, dude.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Fucking real. All right. I'm going to keep playing this. Let's play this wrong way.
He's 12 years old, and too much should be a whore. Nobody ever told her it's the wrong way. Don't be afraid of the goodness you'll get laid. Oh, your family get faded is the wrong way. Make it all that I live. I'm gonna make it hard to live. Melting tears rolling down to her chin. The Rubens up and makeup and never walked in. Hey, a cigarette pressed between her lips, but I'm staring at her tits. It's the wrong way. Told me I can't, but I am only a man, so I take her to the county. It's the wrong way. The only family that she's ever had is a 7 older brothers and a truck. I snapped. He needed money, so he put her on the street. Everything was going fine until the day she met me. Happy and sad, wanna shoot you down. I'll do anything I can the wrong way. We talk all night, try to make it right. Believe me, she was not, it was the wrong way. Run away from the state, 'cause I ain't even make that. Oh no, it's up to you what you really wanna do. Spend some time in America. Don't stop.
See, that's the type of shit, like that sort of weird improvisate, like, oh, we don't have our trumpet, so I'll just fill it in casually. I feel like comfortable with what we're doing. I'm like secure in this situation. I'm just going to fill this in with this, and it works, and it's fucking awesome. And whether they were playing like on a really big stage or if they were playing in a small club, to just do that instead of having like a horn player would totally be valid,
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Crazy.
So great.
So great. So, dude, we're coming up on 2 hours. I'm probably going to hop off here. I'm gonna let you finish up the show.
No worries. No worries. I want to thank you so much. I'm going to finish out the show because I can't stop, but
dude, I know.
Hey, listen, I really
dinner and me, you know.
No. It's totally. Hey, I want to thank you so much for coming on the show and filling in some stuff for us. And this has been really great. And we will definitely have you, and we'll have Eddie too. You guys should come on and we'll talk more Sublime in the future.
Absolutely,
okay?
Man. Shout out Eddie Villa, shout out Jeff Frumess. Everyone make sure you're subscribed. I'm sure everyone here is subscribed, but if you're not, subscribe to Jeff Frumess. Drop some skulls in the comments. And
yes, that's important.
Dude, appreciate you, man. It's always great talking Sublime with you because I've seen your name on the internet for years. I know we kind of just became friends this year, but like I've seen your name on the Sublime Wiki and in the group.
Yeah, I'm always commenting on stuff. Sure. So,
I've seen you in there for years and years, dude. So
I've been there a lot. I've been lurking and sort of involved. Like I'm not really involved, but I've definitely just been watching for a very long time. So
absolutely, dude. I know you have. And yeah, dude, I appreciate you so much. Thank you for having me. I'm gonna hop off here now, I think, and I will pop over on YouTube probably.
Okay, sounds good. We'll see you in the live chat. Bye.
Peace.
Man, that was great. Really glad to have Reed come in and fill in a lot of blanks for me. Fills in a lot of blanks for me, that stuff that I wasn't aware of and whatnot. I gotta finish this. Like I said, I can't stop. I actually have shit to do as well, but how can we, I haven't actually seen the last few songs. I've only seen the first 15 minutes of the show. So I'm going to keep playing this. This is them doing, we already saw them doing STP, right? Here's what I got. I guess that was the next one. Yeah. It's cool. Much like, I'm a big, I love the Pixies too, man. It's funny, songs like What I Got or Monkey Gone to Heaven by the Pixies, or like, it's always like, I don't know, or like Mother by Danzig, like the most common song, the most universally recognized song. They're always like very tired songs for me. They're very played out. What I Got is kind of like that for me. Like listen, I love all Sublime songs, of all Misfit songs. Like, I love all Pixie songs, but there are some songs that, like, if I'm not doing like an album listen through, like I've heard this song a billion friggin' times. But I'm glad to hear this. This will be different. I'm very stoked to hear them do What I Got, because I'm kind of curious to see how they're going to do it. I don't think I've ever heard Sublime with Rome do it, so it's kind of going to be interesting. I guess I've heard Badfish do it, but I don't remember. So this will be interesting to watch. Let's see how they handle it. I mean, I know what Bud would say, and I know what Jake would probably say. Not like I don't know these people, but like I imagine what they would say. The person who I would honestly love, in a candid situation, not like in a straight interview situation, I really want to hear Eric's mindset in this moment right now, because this is a dude who has pretty much never stopped. I mean, like Bud has started and stopped in a variety of like fashions. Like, he was doing fill in the blanks, and he had Del Mar, and he had a couple bands, but like he kind of was inactive for certain periods. Eric's really has never stopped being in bands and really never stopped playing, Sublime music in the sense of whether he was doing original songs with a few Sublime covers like they did in Short Bus or Long Beach Dub All Stars, all the way through having literally, and who knows, like, is Sublime with Rome over? That's the big question. And I would have to imagine that it is, right? Like Sublime with Rome, how could you possibly continue on doing Sublime with Rome if you're doing like something like this? Like, I don't know. Do you just go back after doing this one-off show? Do you now go back? Is this like a special set? Is this like what the Damned did, where they were like, hey, we're doing the original lineup for like 4 dates and then we're just going to go back to being the Damned again? The way the Beach Boys, like, they went out with Brian Wilson and they went back to just being the Beach Boys. So like, what is the future for Sublime with Rome here? Like, do they keep going out as Sublime with Rome, or do they, like, is it over? Is things over? We did see, as we covered in the previous episode, we saw that Eric was that there was a fill-in for Eric because Eric was having some shoulder surgery, which is just kind of weird. Like, how could you keep playing without Eric? Like, it just seems like a weird sort of situation to me. So I'm kind of like, this show makes me wonder what the future of Sublime with Rome holds. And, for Rome, like, I don't know what must have been going through his head when he heard that these guys were going to play together. The fact that we know that Bud has a issue with Rome, but now here he is with Eric making music like he said he would. He said in one of his last public interviews on the subject, he was like, I would make music with Eric Wilson again, but I will not play in Sublime with Rome. I will not go out and do that. So that Bud has essentially, up until this point, kind of stuck to his word. And I remember when he left Sublime with Rome, it's somewhere in the back of my mind, I didn't think it would be possible. I saw an interview, what did I see? I saw some interview where Eric it's in print, where Eric mentioned that he hadn't spoken with Bud in a while. I don't remember what it was for. It was something. Maybe it was last year when he said it. But just like the hope that like maybe somehow these guys would play music together again. And now that it's come to pass. And like, what kind of future could Sublime with Rome possibly have? Especially now when people see what they could have. Here's Jakob embracing it. So will we get more of this stuff? I hope so. I would love for that to be. I mean, that would be fucking incredible, Who knows? Who knows, man?
Take a small example, take a tip for me, take a look at mine, give it all charity, he loves one about, it's within my reach, the short blocks out, straight from my beach, you know about that, and you give what you deserve, try to test that, you gotta get served, loves what I got, don't sell it right out, feeling the dance gets hot, oh, love it, what I got, I said remember that, love it, is what I got. I don't get angry at the bills I have to pay. I don't get angry when my mom starts crying. Hits the bottle and goes back to the rock. Talking, fighting, it's all the same. Even with Louis Dobbs, the only way to say so. Oh, call the gun, I'll let the love come back to me. Here. Loving is what I got. I said remember that. Loving is what I got. I said remember that. Loving is what I got. I said remember that. Loving is what I got. I said remember that. Loving is what I got. I said remember that.
Okay, another interesting observation while watching this, like, pertaining to what I was saying before, like, he's been doing Sublime with Rome for how many years now? Like, going on 14-ish years, maybe, something like that. It's like, this is fresh. Like, he's also in another band, you know? It maybe Eric needs more outlets than what Sublime with Rome offers, or it's like he needs the Sublime with Rome to sort of change on some level. On some level, it's like, hey, I've been doing this thing, playing these same songs over and over and over again, putting up these albums. I'll be honest, man. Again, I have given high praise to that first Sublime with Rome record, the Yours Truly, just as it had there's a lot of material on there that is very Sublime-esque. Like, it really sort of makes a really good attempt at trying to nail the Sublime stuff down. But everything that they've done since then, it just gets progressively watered down and desperate and forced. It feels very forced. It feels like they're trying to write in the mentality. It's kind of like Jerry Only writing Misfits 95 songs for American Psycho, trying to mimic the formula of what he thought Glenn Danzig was doing. He's like trying to write. So he's like, oh yeah, just write about a horror movie. And that's what makes a Misfits song. And like, not understanding the nuances of Glenn Danzig's songwriting and what he was doing with those songs. And to an extent, you look at, like, Sublime with Rome just released a song called not All You Need, All I Need. It's called All I Need. There's a Sublime song called All You Need. In fact, the second to last Sublime song that was ever played at the final show was All You Need. The last song they did was Hope. It was All You Need. I always thought All You Need is Hope. Interesting message at the end of the career of the original Sublime. But it's just like, how derivative and watered down and forced do you get when you start saying, make a song, especially when you've been playing All You Need for the last how many years, and now you have a song called All I Need? What the where is the damage, man? And so on some level, I got to imagine that this is just getting stale and boring for Eric. Imagine if they were to do another show like this in this sort of way. And like, imagine if they even put out a fucking album material, these guys. Holy shit. With Jake's original songwriting. We just went through an entire fucking thing. Like, would you call that Sublime? I don't know. But whatever it is, I want an album of that. Like, the three of those guys going into the studio and doing an album. So whether you would, I mean, obviously, I think they would bill it as Sublime. But like, again, like, it's like this weird situation. It's like the dude is the dude's son. They have the right whole, they're going to call it Sublime if they were to do more of this sort of stuff. You know what I mean? Like, I would imagine they would. I mean, God, it's just like so many questions, so many, makes me wonder so many different things. All right. So here's them doing Burritos.
Thanks so much, man. I really appreciate you guys watching us like this. This means a lot. You guys think we should do more shows? I guess that says it. Oh, what up, brother? So many familiar faces.
By the way, I don't know if you heard Reed say it. I don't think we heard it on these videos, but on Reed's video, it does. That he does. Jacob says we're Sublime. He's straight up, hey, we're Sublime. Like, I mean, I don't know how to argue with that. As a fan, oh, no, you're not Sublime. You can't be Sublime. You're not Bradley. Like, what? How do you tell that kid? How do you tell this guy that he's not fucking Sublime? Like, it's kind of like it's like this. This is like the one situation we talk all the time on the channel about like when does a band stop becoming a band? Like when you lose the songwriter, when you lose the singer, when you lose a founding member, like when does a band start becoming a band? But like something we've never discussed is when does a band have the right to start calling themselves the band again? And I think we've just stumbled upon a situation where this is incredibly fucking valid, as I was discussing with Reed. Yes, this, you could call this Sublime. You could call this Sublime. I think that is a valid sentence. I'm mesmerized by Bud playing guitar because he's like, it's like he's doing a jogging man thing with the drum. He's got his drumsticks. He's going like this. He's going like this. He's like, it's like he's running in place with the drum, but he's hitting the drums. He's going. It's fucking great. I love that.
Just drink beer. I don't wanna do it for love. I don't wanna lose a dog shit down, no. So I ain't even getting out of bed today. I ain't getting out of bed today. I ain't getting out of bed. Trey.
That was great, and we've really come full circle now from 11 years prior, watching him as a 16-year-old boy do that, and now here he is 28 doing it again.
All the stupid shit you gotta say. I don't wanna do a goddamn thing, no. I ain't even leaving my bed today. I ain't getting out of bed today. I don't wanna leave my bed today. Keep on spending money, till the night away. But the time is coming.
I mean, they really are that, like just the rhythm section is so it's insane. It really is insane to me how these two guys have been playing together for just decades, how they lock in effortlessly. They've been playing together since 1986. They're going almost 40 years of playing together, these guys. In fact, I think they've been playing together even longer. I think they've been playing for about, could it be as long as 40 years?
Burritos. Burrito bottle chain. I ain't gonna get a head rush. I ain't even in my bed today. I ain't getting out of bed today. I ain't getting out of bed today. No, not today. No, wait. If I stand running, take the night away. But the time is coming for us all to play. Make some noise!
But he just broke a stick right there.
Let's go!
This is so potent to me. This is so utterly, completely potent, you know, in the sense of like this is like something that you could take out on the road and just would be so well received. It's so perfect, man. It really is. So here's Santeria, man. Here's Santa. Let's hear Santeria.
I just want to say that because I was on tour with my band Jacob's Castle. We took a trip up to Petaluma where they have the Phoenix Theater. It's the last place where Sublime ever played. And I went in and I checked it out. There's a bunch of kids skating and having a good time. And I met a lot of good people there. It made me realize it's something that I wanted to do. So 28 years later, here we are. Uncle's happy to be playing with you. And happy that you guys are the first ones to see it. Make some noise out there.
Did you hear that? Did you hear what he fucking said? So he's like, he just told the impetus, the whole thing. He said, I was at the last place that Sublime ever played, which was the Petaluma Theater. Met a lot of good people there, and he realized that he wanted to do this, and that they're the first people to see it. So the first people to see it, that means perhaps more people are going to see it. So it really, I mean, here Sublime, it sounds like Sublime is back, you know, in this way, in this incarnation, after all this time has passed. I mean, fuck it, dude. Life is too short, man. Life is too friggin' short. Like bring it on. I'm here for it. I'm here for it. This is valid to me. It is. I never thought I would say that. I never thought I would say it, but it is. It's perfect, man. I mean, it's just everything has lined up to this point.
Isn't this what music's all about? Everybody has to. We're gonna play a super deep cut. We're gonna play. Oh yeah, heads up for HR. Come on, give it up for HR. Great for HR. We're gonna play you guys a super deep cut. You've never heard of this song.
That's amazing. I love it. Eric doesn't say anything for like the whole set. He goes, pray for HR. Pray for him. That's so great. Bud hasn't said a word. Although I don't think that, you know, Bud is kind of like has always been a mouthpiece for Sublime, but he's quiet. He slammed down. That's amazing. Look at that. Wait, what did he?
Pray for HR.
Pray for HR.
We're gonna play you guys a super deep cut. You've never heard of this song.
Wow.
Thank you. Good night. I love them very much.
Wow. I mean, yeah, Alex says better than Kiss going all virtual in the world. This is what the world needs. I agree, man. In a world where like Kisses digitize themselves or whatever, like Kiss is going to virtually like perform. Like, I think this is so valid. Like, this is valid. This is totally valid, man. It really is. It really friggin' is. So now they came back for one more number, but I think we have a better view. Yeah, we have a better view here. Well, he says something here. Here, let's see what's said here, and then we'll switch to the better view, different view that we haven't seen before. We're at the end of the show, obviously. Man, this is a 2.5 hour show. I was not planning on that, but we did a whole impromptu history of Jakob through the years that's brought him to this point. It always feels necessary to take that road before you do the show, before you dive into the meat of the show. And then people get really pissed off and they're like, dude, I thought this was about like the Jakob playing with Sublime guys, like not like about Jakob himself. But I feel like the two are so intrinsically entwined at this point, you have to discuss one in order to get to the other. So let's hear here's Eric speaking some more. It's so nice to hear Eric talk.
Tonight is about HR. So when you go home tonight, you pray for HR and for his mental health, you know? Because, you know, if you had a fucking headache, you need to fucking bash your name on the wall, end up like fucking Farmer from TSOL.
Wait, you say Todd Farmer from TSOL? That I know that Todd had a. Oh, that's right. Wait a minute. Is that how Todd died?
Anyways, love you guys. Anyways, love you.
What? I can't.
Bash your name on the wall. End up like fucking Farmer from TSOL.
Yeah, he said end up like Farmer from TSOL, Todd Farmer. I didn't know that. I didn't know. I know that Todd Farmer died from some sort of like aneurysm sort of thing or some sort of brain thing. Is that what? I guess that's what part of what did him in. I mean, TSOL was not really a contemporary of Sublime. The original TSOL at least, but the Joy Killer was doing shows with Sublime. In fact, they were supposed to do the whole European tour with Sublime. TSOL was from Huntington Beach, I believe, not Long Beach, but I think isn't Long Beach and Huntington Beach are right next to it. I'm sure it's all the same neighborhood. I just don't understand it being from the East Coast. It's so weird to hear Eric. I know that they like TSOL. It's weird. They never covered TSOL. It's weird to hear Eric mention TSOL, but of course he would. Of course, TSOL will be like local legends. Interesting.
Anyways, love you guys. Thanks for everything.
Wait, I just saw the look on Jake's face. Wait, I got to see this again. Hold on.
End up like fucking Farmer from TSOL. Anyways, love you guys.
Look at Jake's face when Eric is talking, man. He looks a little confused, a little bewildered. He's like, all right. All right, Uncle Eric. Let's play some music. Come on. And he's like, come on, it's time to play. Sure.
One more time for HR, everybody. Let me hear it. Come on.
Dude, look at him, man. He's like jacked. He's like ripped. He's like ready to go. You know, Jack mentioned that like they helped to sell some of the merch that was already over there. There was merch that was already over there for Sublime, and they sold like the t-shirts and stuff. They sent the money to Troy. on the tour, the European tour. Crazy. Because I had asked Jack about that. I was like, you must have crossed paths with Sublime and stuff. And he told me that. I was like, wow. So they're ending the set with Same in the End. This song sounds so close to the the track, or even a real, if you caught Sublime on a good day in 95 or 96 or something, this is this is fucking Sublime, dude. This is as close as you will ever get to Sublime in a world where Bradley Nowell no longer exists. This is it. They've cracked the code here. You could see it on Bud's face, man. Bud knows. Bud's like, this is it. We found it. We clicked and we found it, and this is it. Well, look at Eric. Look at Eric, dude. Eric is out of control, man. Look at him. Look at him, dude. He's fucking loaded, bro. I'm sorry. Look at him. Oh, jeez, Louise. So, all right. So, closing thoughts. I'm curious. Alex says, I'm one of the biggest hardcore fans ever of Sublime. I've been archiving since 1993-ish. So, for someone who's been a fan for 30 years, Alex, I'm asking you in the audience, or in the live chat, whatever. What do you think, man? Is this Sublime? Can we call this Sublime? In a world where Bradley Nowell is no longer here, this is Sublime, right? Hands down, this is it. We found an example of a band that can call themselves the band. They could call themselves the band. They could totally call themselves the band. To me, in my opinion, it's here, man. And a shout out to the person who did the the lighting show here, whatever, like the projected screen. You know, the other sort of elephant in the room, and I'm sad that he's not on the stage. Miguel should have been here. He should have been, you know, Trey is perfectly fine. Trey is, as Reed said, Trey is qualified, but Miguel should be that second guitar spot, man. Miguel should be that second guitar spot. And I'm like, what is going through Miguel's head? If I don't know if he's at this show, that was something else we forgot to ask Reed if he saw Miguel there. And like, is Miguel like, what if Miguel's watching this on YouTube probably at some point? Like, what is he thinking about this? What does Opie think about this? Like, what are these guys who were around Jack and Todd Foreman and Marshall, all the guys, like, what do they think about this here? And like, does this work? Alex says this is Sublime. We are Sublime, reference to the 2009 court case. That's right, because what happened was they played out as Sublime at that show that I mentioned at the beginning at Reno or whatever. And then they played at the Cypress Hill Smokeout Festival. And then there was an injunction put up against them by Jim and Troy. I think it was a joint thing, joint decision. And they were fighting for, and now here's the thing, at that time, what, you know, before Sublime with Rome became what it became and Bud left, this was like, there was never going to be anything that resembled Sublime ever again. Here's this guy who can kind of do a Bradley-esque thing, and he clicks well with Bud and Eric, and they're going to go out and do Sublime songs. Like, if Badfish is out there doing Sublime songs, and Badfish was making $1.5 million a year, they were making $1.5 million a year doing that. Like, why can't these guys go out with this guy Rome and play Sublime material? Should they have called themselves Sublime? No. Here this makes sense. This is the difference. Seeing Jacob is the contrast I needed to see in order to tell the difference. This is the difference here. But it's like, you know, to go out as some derivative of Sublime. Hey, we're going to call ourselves Secondhand Smoke and play Sublime songs and originals. Yeah, fuck yeah. That makes sense. Why shouldn't, you know, Bud and Eric get to play all the songs that they never got to play with Brad? Right? Like, why not? But, you know, that turned into what it turned into. And now here it is. Finally, it's like all that needed to kind of go down for them to get to this point. And now here we are. So, if forever who watches this in the future, if you watch it, what do you think? Do you think this is Sublime? Does this work for you as Sublime? I'm stoked. Like I said, the people who I really want to hear their thoughts, I want to hear what Miguel thinks after seeing the set. Like, it's gotta be like, you know, seeing a ghosts. It's gotta be. I want to hear, like, obviously Troy is super proud of her son, but like, I really want to hear what she thinks. Like, you know, just in terms of like what it must be to see it after all this time. Right. Yeah. They were called Budfish. Right. Because Bud was playing with Badfish for a while after Sublime with Rome. He would sit in for, you know, they had problems with another guy who was going by the name Cue Ball, and he was going around with a Sublime tribute and pretending that he was Eric. That's a whole story in and of itself. But I think part of what motivated Bud to embrace Badfish the way that he did was the fact that there was this imposter walking around claiming that he was kind of trying he was banking on people to be confused as to who he was and like thinking that he was Eric. That's basically what it kind of was. Whizbang says, are they touring or just playing festivals, bigger events, if that makes sense? I'm so outside of the loop, it's not even funny. I don't, as far as I know, there's been no announcements. I don't know if they're doing more shows. From what I just watched in this video, Jacob just said, you're the first to see this. He also said, what made me want to do this was going to the last place that Sublime played live, where his dad passed away. So I'd imagine that there's got to be more in the works. This is super. This was a home run. There's no way. And with the fact that like Eric wasn't even there for Sublime with Rome shows is so disturbing to me. Like it's cool. Like it's cool on like some small geeky level that like Tony from No Doubt, they got him to fill in. Like that's kind of cool, but like not to call yourself Sublime with Rome. Like that's weird, man. What a bizarre thing. We're gonna call ourselves Sublime with Rome. We're gonna have the bass player from. We're gonna have no original members. We're gonna have the bass player from No Doubt. Just weird. Yeah, they were called Sublime Remembered. I called out Mike Houlidan. That guy was such a character in a bad way. I mean, just a goofball. Like he had a blue like soul patch, and he would go out with like different like former like people from like other bands and stuff. Like he was never in Sublime though, but he like would claim that he kind of was in Sublime. He was trying to like operate in this weird space, and he got injunctions against him from Bud. So then in turn, Bud's like, yeah, I love Badfish. Badfish is the tribute to C. In a world where I can't be Sublime, I want you to go see Badfish. And for Badfish, that's been good. And I got to imagine that their tour revenue has only increased. But that figure I stated in 2009, they were raking in $1.5 million gross annually. After all the overhead and I mean, those guys have for the last 20 something years made a working living playing Sublime music, legally and above board, of course, but like playing other people's music. Like it's just amazing. They're one of the greatest cover bands out there, you know. It's funny too. Someone mentioned Kiss before. Now that Kiss is over, I bet all the Kiss tribute bands are so super stoked. They are about to fill such a need in the market for live Kiss music. Like Kiss tributes are going to be a thing, a big thing. I guarantee it. We'll see that more of that in the future. This has been a great show. Thank you so much, everybody. Thanks again to Reed. Check him out on YouTube, Reed Clow. And we will be back. Yeah, we're gonna have to explore the mystery of the real cue ball someday, of the badass death row crew. Thank you for watching this. And yeah, I don't know. Oh, make sure, yeah, subscribe, all the jazz, like this video, blah, blah, blah. All right, I gotta go to bed, man. It's late. Peace. Hair grease. Wait, let me do this proper. Congratulations to Jacob, Bud, and Eric, and Trey. Like, congratulations, guys. Like, you did it. You really fucking did it, man. I want to go see Minikiss so bad, but it's 21 plus since it's in a casino. Whizbang, I hope someday that you are 21 years old and that you can go see Minikiss in a casino. I want that for you more than anything. Just know that. Peace, hair grease. Good night.